just ran a checkup on myself. Some days I just have to check up on myself. I'm so icy, got that GG on my belt. Thank the Lord for my people in my health. Lost a lot, but I came out with no L's. Thank the Lord for my people in my health. And I'm fine as hell from my head down to my neck. I got another cell, he still buy me YSL. I could get it by myself. These I could get it by myself. I could get it by myself. These I could get it by myself. I'ma get it by myself. Yeah. Feel like Ginger from Casino. Aces up my sleeve though. Right before I leave, pass that like I'm Dino. Think I'm part Italian, blame that on Gino. Smells like the medallion, the skin on cappuccino. I don't kiss and tell, keep your distance from myself. At a genie with the snails in a 5-star hotel. And I wish he's well when they wish for me to fail. I might donate petty bills, they can't get it by themselves.
That's why I treat my men good, but not too good. I give them too much, then they don't need me. I give them just
yeah, I just ran a checkup on myself. Some days I just have to check up on myself. I'm so icy, got that GG on my belt. Thank the Lord for my people in my health. Lost a lot, but I came out with no L's. Thank the Lord for my people in my health. And I'm fine as hell from my head down to my nails. My man tripping cause I got another cell. He still buy me YSL. I could get it by myself. These I could get it by myself. I could get it by myself. These I could get it by myself. I'ma get it by myself. Yeah. I'ma get it either way. I don't even gotta say what I want when I want. They just put it on my plate. I could get it right away. Take you through my day to day. Wake and pray, make that play. Get some good at my place. There's some on the way. Cause my bro's on the way. I got stones on my gold. I got loads in my safe. Had a 7-figure.
All right, much appreciated, Coach, as we welcome all of you to our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the New England Patriots and the Houston Texans. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. They run with a former Jaguar. It's T.J. Yeldon, and he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. To throw is Rivers. He's got Njoku, his big tight end. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. Now a two-time 1,000-yard rusher for the Bears. This is Jordan Howard. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. On 2nd and 12, Rivers. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
On third down, Rivers. They go with the screen. It's Yeldon. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive. 5 yards on the screen, but that'll take us to fourth down. So on fourth down, Britton Colquitt on to punt. And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Just a 25-yard punt. Not what he was hoping for by any stretch. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Melvin Gordon, the 2-time Pro Bowler. And some space here. And out across midfield down to the 45. That one 28 yards on the ground.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Dalton now to pass. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored. You give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout. And that means your offense has to keep pace.
On 2nd down, they'll run with Gordon. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. It's a loss of 2. Now 3rd down.
A run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Hey, hands up. Lady. Stay with your man.
3rd down, a shot here for Dalton. He wants it all for the end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. DJ Moore with touchdown number 12 on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
The Patriots take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive, and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win 1st down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating 1st downs, and that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
At the 27-yard line.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Throwing, Rivers. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. Letting one go deep for a new one. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. It'll wind up being a net of 41. 9-yard return, 50 on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And coming up on their second drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they have the football back. Chance to really seize early momentum.
Feels to me like they had a really excellent week of practice. It all came together, but I'll bet you it got galvanized in the locker room in pregame. Somehow I think the head coach, his oratorical skills were on point.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That one 28 yards on the ground.
First and 10 at the 43-yard line.
So into Pat's territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 43. They run it here with Gordon. Nifty move by Gordon. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Dalton. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Bradley Chubb in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
Hey, let's get off the field, D. Let's get off the field, D.
After 7-0 on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter from Houston. It's the Texans in possession of the football as they've got it with a 3rd down and long coming up. Play fake. Here's Dalton. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. DJ Moore with his 13th touchdown of the year and 2nd of the game. And the Texans push further out in front. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and it's now 14-0. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line.
At their own 16-yard line.
The Pats at the line, ready to go. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Now Rivers. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll lose yardage here. Going down back at the 28. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. The loss of 3 on that first down pass play. Now 2nd and 13. Rivers. Going up top. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Play action now. Rivers. He's going to go for a big play downfield, and that'll be incomplete. Now, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt.
The Texans take over first and 10 at their own 16-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, that could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But it's the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
Hey, 58's the mic. Go 58's the mic. I got you. I got you, son. I got you. You're all mine.
Dalton off play action. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And got his man complete. Touchdown, Houston. Andy Dalton with his 3rd touchdown pass of the game. And the Texans push further out in front. Fairbairn now to add the extra point. Well, PAT would extend their lead, but there is a flag on the play. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
The Patriots take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Run 80. Watch the run. Watch the run. Watch the run. Behind.
Rivers to throw it. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Poyer, and his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
Throwing, Dalton to the right side, and he's got more complete. There he goes, right side. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. DJ Moore on his way to a historic performance. 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Texans push further out in front. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the rout is on here in this first half. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. To throw again on second down. Rivers, they'll set up the screen to Howard. He lost 4 there, and it's third down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall. They can put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that play, but perilously close to the goal line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And last time, the formula was pretty simple. One-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one-play drive is exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was really easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. To throw here, Dalton. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Now, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away, turned into a nice play.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Hey, seam 6.
Go 58's the mic. I got you.
Out of the gun, it's Dalton. He's going to fire one deep over, and that's caught inside the 30. Well, that's how you convert on third down with an explosive gain of 34.
Well, you don't have to be a genius to watch this game and figure out they've had plenty of success moving the football here in the first half. We've seen exhibits A, B, C, and right on down the line, haven't we?
Yeah, we just saw exhibit Z right there. They run on first down, but it only produces a gain of 2. It's second down now. On the stop that time, it was Josie Jewell. Throwing on 2nd and 8, Dalton. And the grab by Croft. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. They'll try and punch it in. Gordon. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. Melvin Gordon in the final seconds of the first half as his guys continue to... The Pats at the line, ready to go. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. And from the 15, they're able to work this up to the 20 for a pickup of a handful.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out. But a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Mike, 58, right there. You're trapped, you're trapped.
Now a 10th carry for Melvin Gordon. And he's able to pick up the first down here before he goes down at the 26. Third and medium, they opted to run instead of pass, and it worked. First down.
First and 10.
Check 31, check 31.
First down, here's the run with Montgomery. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
No gain on the play. Brings up second and 10.
So after the run for no gain, here's second and 10.
Watch the run, watch the run, watch the run.
And Rodgers has it over on the right side.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Hands up, lead.
Get the mic. Hey, they're scared, they're scared.
Hands up.
On third down, this is Melvin Gordon. And he will not get there as they stop him short right around the 34-yard line. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a fourth down.
But forget knowing where the first down line was. This defense created their own line of scrimmage. They won every battle up front, and a lot of times that is one-on-one. And if you win your one-on-ones enough times, your defense is going to be pretty good. They had more people to the football and snuffed out the play.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here at half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're...
Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. DeMarcus Lawrence, it's his 20th sack of the season as he continues what could be a record-setting campaign. After the sack, they'll come up now third and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Instead, they go empty backfield as they'll look to throw. Dwayne Smoot providing a little deja vu, back-to-back sacks, and now they're staring at a fourth and long.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big. And now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of it. Rivers now. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Vernon Hargraves with a pick. And they're already in the red zone. The 18-yard line is where they take over. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Gordon And he'll take it from the 18 to the 15, a gain of 3.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
And Dalton to throw. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
No one attempted or made more field goals than Fairbairn last year. He was 37 of 42.
And they were grateful for every one of those that put 3 points on the board. But I'll guarantee you, Bill O'Brien, the head coach, is thinking to himself, we need to use him a lot less in 2019. Let's make sure we score some more touchdowns.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
On 2nd and 12, Rivers. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Incomplete. Marlon Humphrey on the coverage.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
Hey, Rocket!
To throw, Rivers. And that is incomplete. Here's Britton Colquitt now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Oh, spinning away. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food, because that is something that you and I enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we can probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season.
Motion.
On 2nd and 15 now. Dalton. Throw to the right here to Gordon. There goes Melvin Gordon. Touchdown, Houston. Melvin Gordon. He scored on the ground and through the air as his guys continue to pour it on. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19. The Pats at the line, ready to go. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Hey, go orange. Orange.
Mike 5'9", Mike 5'9".
Hey, Haywood.
Let's go, D, let's go. Hey, let's get this. Check 59, Mike.
First down, Rivers. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Wesley Woodyard. And this results in 6. Touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
The Patriots take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And fresh off the pick 6, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
It comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
It's deep in there, right? Yeah. Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. To throw on third down, Rivers. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Texans are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. They'll start the drive with a run by Gordon. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. The busy night continues for Gordon as he gets it here. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. The tackle there by Richard Sherman. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept...
There goes Melvin Gordon. A big play there by Gordon. 64 yards.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And they will take a knee here.
Wait!
58, come on!
We ain't giving up nothing today.
So Houston going to come away here with the victory. And I tell you what, Charles.